In recent months, the political landscape of the United States has been fraught with tension as the country braces for the possible return of Donald Trump to the White House. With Trump's presidential campaign gaining momentum and his significant influence over Republican politics, concerns over the future of American democracy have only intensified. One of the key areas where this tension is particularly pronounced is the issue of pardons and what President Joe Biden should or should not do in the final stretch of his presidency. Pardons are a powerful tool within the president's arsenal. They allow a sitting president to right perceived wrongs, offer clemency to those who may have been wrongly convicted, and, in some cases, serve as a buffer against politically motivated prosecutions. As we approach the final years of Biden's term, the pressure is mounting for him to exercise his pardon power with caution and, some argue, with more boldness. The stakes are incredibly high, particularly as the potential for Trump's return looms large, and the Republican Party continues to advance an agenda that many see as a direct threat to American democracy. Amid these growing tensions, a significant question arises. Should Biden act to protect those who may face retribution in a Trump-led government, especially given the troubling rise of figures like Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, and others who have positioned themselves as key players in a potential Trump administration? Biden's use of the pardon power could be the difference between safeguarding American democracy and allowing it to slip further into political chaos. As we explore this issue, we must examine the current political climate, the potential threats to American institutions, and the role Biden could play in ensuring the safety and security of all Americans from the dangers posed by Trump and his allies. The growing threat of Trump's return to power. The fear of a Trump resurgence is palpable. After losing the 2020 election, Trump has continued to cast a long shadow over American politics, positioning himself as the de facto leader of the Republican Party. His influence over Republican lawmakers and key political figures is undeniable, and his grip on the GOP appears stronger than ever. With Trump facing numerous criminal investigations, ranging from charges related to his business dealings to his role in inciting the January 6th insurrection, many believe that a Trump victory in 2024 would unleash a wave of political retribution against those who have dared to oppose him. A significant element of Trump's political agenda has been his desire to punish those who stood against him. His attacks on the FBI, the Department of Justice, and other governmental bodies have been relentless. If Trump were to return to power, there is no doubt that his administration would likely target individuals who were involved in investigations against him, his administration, or his family. This includes people like Dr. Anthony Fauci, who led the national response to the COVID-19 pandemic, Liz Cheney, who served on the January 6th committee, and Mark Esper, Trump's former Secretary of Defense, who was frequently at odds with the president. One of the figures who could play a major role in a future Trump administration is Kash Patel, a former aide to Trump who is rumored to be in line for a significant position, possibly even the head of the FBI. Patel's controversial career has made him a polarizing figure in American politics, and his appointment to a position of such power would likely mean that Trump would leverage the full weight of the federal government to pursue vendettas against those who stood in his way. This is where Biden's pardon power becomes critically important. The role of pardons in protecting American democracy. Pardons are an essential part of American presidential power. They allow a president to forgive individuals convicted of federal crimes, offering them a second chance. However, they are not without controversy, especially when the individuals involved are seen as politically motivated or personally connected to the president. While some argue that pardons should be reserved for individuals who have truly shown remorse or have been unjustly persecuted, others believe that the political realities of the moment demand a more aggressive approach to using this power. In the current political climate, with the specter of Trump's return looming large, Biden must consider how pardons could be used to protect those who could be targeted by a future Trump administration. This includes not only those who have opposed Trump, but also the law enforcement officials, prosecutors, and judges who have played a role in holding him accountable for his actions. Biden's position on pardons has been a point of contention. On one hand, Some argue that he should be more cautious with his use of this power, reserving it for those who truly deserve it. On the other hand, there is a growing call for Biden to issue a broader range of pardons, particularly preemptive ones, to safeguard Americans from the political retribution that would likely follow a Trump return to power. One example of individuals who may benefit from such pardons includes the members of the January 6th committee, who risk facing retaliatory investigations if Trump regains power. Figures like Liz Cheney, who demonstrated incredible bravery in standing up to Trump and his supporters, could be at risk of politically motivated prosecutions. Similarly, prosecutors like Alvin Bragg in Manhattan and special counsel Jack Smith, who have pursued cases against Trump, may find themselves under intense scrutiny from a future Trump administration. Additionally, figures like Dr. Anthony Fauci and former Attorney General Bill Barr, who have been publicly vilified by Trump and his supporters, may face personal and professional consequences if Trump is reelected. A preemptive pardon could serve as a form of protection for these individuals, ensuring that they are not subjected to politically motivated attacks once Trump returns to office. Biden's pardon power could also extend to individuals like the federal judges who have ruled against Trump in key cases. Judges like Judge Engoron, Judge Marin, and Judge Chutkan, who have presided over cases involving Trump, could face significant political pressure under a second Trump presidency. A preemptive pardon could shield these judges from retaliation and ensure that they can continue to serve with impartiality. The case for more pardons, not fewer. While the topic of pardons is always a sensitive one, the current political climate calls for a more proactive approach. Some believe that Biden should be more cautious in his use of pardons, but in reality, the situation demands that he take bold action. Given the growing threats to American democracy posed by a potential Trump administration, Biden should consider issuing a larger number of pardons to safeguard those who could be targeted for political reasons. This could include pardoning individuals who have faced persecution at the hands of Trump and his allies. For example, people like former FBI Director James Comey, who was fired by Trump, could be at risk of further retaliation if Trump is reelected. Similarly, individuals who played a role in the investigations into Trump's actions, such as former Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, could also face politically motivated investigations if Trump returns to power. Biden could also use his pardon power to send a message to the Republican Party and the American public that he is committed to protecting democracy and ensuring that individuals who have served their country honorably are not unjustly targeted for political reasons. By issuing more pardons, Biden could help insulate key individuals from the kind of retribution that a Trump presidency could unleash. Ultimately, the key issue here is that Biden must take action before it's too late. A second Trump presidency could mean the dismantling of key institutions of American democracy, and pardons could serve as an important tool in safeguarding those institutions. If Biden fails to act, the political landscape could shift in dangerous ways, leaving many Americans vulnerable to politically motivated prosecutions and other forms of retaliation. As the United States faces the possibility of Donald Trump's return to power, the need for bold, decisive action from President Biden has never been more urgent. The pardon power, often used sparingly and with caution, has the potential to serve as a critical safeguard for American democracy. By issuing a broader range of pardons, particularly preemptive ones, Biden can protect individuals who could be targeted by a Trump administration for political reasons. This includes not only those who have opposed Trump, but also those who have worked to uphold the rule of law and defend the Constitution. The stakes are incredibly high. If Biden fails to use his pardon power to its fullest extent, the consequences for American democracy could be dire. A Trump presidency would likely usher in an era of political retribution, where those who have stood against him are subjected to investigations, prosecutions, and other forms of retaliation. By issuing more pardons, Biden can send a powerful message that he is committed to protecting the institutions that form the bedrock of American democracy. In the coming months, as Biden approaches the final stretch of his presidency, he must recognize the urgency of the moment and take action to protect those who have served their country honorably. The pardon power is a tool that should not be taken lightly, but in the face of unprecedented political threats, it is a tool that can help safeguard the future of American democracy. Biden must act boldly, issue more pardons, and protect those who are at risk of becoming targets in the event of a Trump resurgence.